start with Alabama. Obviously, a program that we always expect to recruit at a very high level. And they're expecting 25 to 30 prospects on campus this weekend. Who do you want to start with here? Because again, it's one of those where it's a smaller list maybe than some schools, but it's an absolutely elite list. 4 names added in. Bama 247, Brett Greenberg, did a great job compiling this list here, but 4 names added on Thursday afternoon: Ezavier McDonald, Lasiah Jackson, Chris Booker, and KJ Ford. Again, 25 to 30 guys expected. But where do you want to start, D?
Yeah, I'm going to start in state because, look, when you look at Alabama, I thought Kalen DeBoer did an outstanding job recruiting his first year, met or exceeded expectations. You're talking about number 4 class in the country, coast to coast, including the West Coast. Outstanding performance for Alabama. Love the quarterback. He might be the best quarterback in the country in Keelan Russell. But one big glaring issue with what he did recruiting-wise is the state of Alabama. So I'm pulling up the 2025 football recruits in Alabama, just looking at the schools. Oregon, Auburn, Ohio State, Auburn, Kentucky, Auburn, Colorado, Auburn, Texas, Louisville, Texas A&M, until you get to the first Alabama logo. So look, they had the number 4 class in the country. I'm not going to make this more than it is, but the state of Alabama doesn't just produce highly ranked players. It produces players that are very, very good at the college level and at the pro level. These are guys that are well coached. These are guys that, quite frankly, are often underrated and perform very well at the next level. There you see the list here. So I am a huge fan of Alabama players in general, and I think, this is not what you want to see even in a top 5 class. So Alabama is clearly taking steps to correct that. When you look at some of the in-state guys that are visiting this weekend, you already have a commit from Zyan Gibson from Gadsden, Alabama, big-time cornerback prospect, Jabarrius Garror, 2027 edge player. So there's a lot of Bama guys already in the fold, but some critical names on campus. And you start right there with the number 2 wide receiver in the country, according to 247. Number 7, according to the composite, Cederian Morgan from Alex City, Alabama, 6'4", 210, just a huge bodied receiver. And when you watch his highlights, guy's a 6'4" high jumper on top of being 6'4". So this dude can really jump, also runs the hurdles. The speed is solid, 11-12 in the 100 meters, and he plays like that when you watch him on film. But it's the size and it's the ability to catch the ball in a crowd. Repeatedly on these highlights, you see him making contested catches over 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. You have Ryan Williams on campus, who's as dynamic as they get. This is a different type of player, but someone who I think can help you right away because of his body type and what you're seeing right there, the ability to track the football.
We love comparisons. To me, I'm getting big-time Alshon Jeffrey vibes from him. Obviously a bigger bodied receiver. And a lot of times with these big receivers, we try to pigeonhole them into being, maybe he'll grow into a tight end. He's a high school senior, but this is a guy that the body control in the air, the movement skills, you see it all. I mean, you see the ability to high point the football on an island with a cornerback. I mean, that's just a really tough ask. He's someone that I think demands a second set of eyes, and I think you talk about potentially pairing him with a Ryan Williams down the line here. It's kind of like pick your poison.
Look, it might be a short-lived pairing because I don't think Ryan Williams is going to last in college past year 3, but this is a guy that could play right away. So I think there is a potential for overlap there. And one thing to note, and you've seen this just reading some of the reports from Alabama insiders, and it makes sense. The relationships with the in-state guys, as far as the coaches, the people around high school football, it takes time. You can't just go in there as Kalen DeBoer and get that right away. It's why maybe that first class had more of a national feel. It takes time to build those relationships, and hopefully you see the fruit of that here with players like this who, it's not just a one-day recruitment. It's not just a one-year recruitment. It's a multi-year recruitment with a lot of calls and a lot of relationships.
You see his leaping ability there on that last clip. I mean, he's really a difference maker at the wide receiver spot. So we'll stay in state here with Anthony Tank Jones, a versatile defender, basketball player as well. I mean, you're talking about a guy at 6'3.5", 240. It's tough to really pigeonhole him into a position right now as we pull up his highlights here, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the more I watch this guy, the more I like him. Obviously, a highly rated player, a 5-star on the composite, I believe. You see him, he's not the longest player, just from a pure size standpoint. He's a big guy. They call him Tank, but it's not like for where he's ranked, the size doesn't jump out at you. The explosiveness doesn't jump out at you from his, in terms of speed. He's not running 4.5, but this guy is just a football player. His movements are like a football player's movements, although he also plays basketball. There you see him at tight end. Just a lot of functional athleticism, quickness, balance, short area explosiveness, power, which I think is probably the most underrated trait in football, the ability not just to have strength, but to get low and explode with power. He's making play after play. Crafty pass rusher. He doesn't just beat you with speed. He's got multiple moves there. You're seeing dip. You see him play wildcat quarterback a little bit, which to me is always an indicator of just athleticism and trust from your coaching staff. Pete, we always go back and look at the guys that make the first round of the NFL draft, especially guys that are 3-stars that maybe pop over their expectation. Those guys are almost always playing wildcat quarterback on the defense, the defensive players that get drafted. Even Vita Vea, going back all the way to when Tampa Bay picked him, he was playing wildcat quarterback as a 330-pound plus defensive tackle. So that athleticism to me is telling. And this is a guy that I don't know whether he's going to be a defensive end. You see him lining up there at defensive tackle. I'm not sure that's where he ends up. But let's say a rush end. I think his versatility and overall ability will really shine.
I'm gonna pull up his 247 page right now, but you're kind of describing like a Micah Parsons sort of player.
I wouldn't say the twitch is the same.
Right. But body type wise, I'm saying he was listed as 6'3", 235 coming out of high school on his 247 page. So Twitch Micah Parsons is a different sort of beast there. But in terms of height and weight, I think, and what the position could end up being.
Yeah, you see him there playing wildcat. You see him. I mean, he's doing all kinds of stuff. Pete, help me out here. Melvin Ingram, from South Carolina, another versatile playmaker who it didn't look perfect body-wise, and he was probably a little shorter here than Jones, but somebody who played this role and was just such a great athlete, such a great football player that he always made an impact. I could see some of that in him as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. So look, those guys will be in Tuscaloosa this weekend as we continue to go down the line here. And look, we're not going to show the highlights of everyone, but Cam Johnson, I'm not sure if you mentioned him, from Muscle Shoals, edge rusher, will be on campus. Emanuel Ruffin from Bessemer, Alabama. Ezavier Crowell from Jackson, Alabama, a recent reclassification to this class. So those are some of the other local Alabama guys. Again, 25 to 30 names. This is, when you look at these junior days, you have to think that these are high priority targets for, I'm not saying everyone does it this way, but we're looking at Alabama right now, 25 to 30 guys as we continue to go down this list. If you're there, you're most likely someone that Alabama would take a commitment from in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, look, some of this is evaluation, right? You're Alabama, you're not just taking everybody, you're turning down blue chip, in some cases, even 5-star players. So you want to see how guys interact. You want to see how just their personalities. You want to see their size. Maybe these are guys you've seen on film, but you haven't seen them truly in person. You want to see how they stack up physically with guys in their class, guys in their position. So I think that's part of it as well. But one guy, Pete, that is not from Alabama, from probably the most hotly contested recruiting area on the planet, Atlanta, Georgia area, where everybody's recruiting, stands out from a size standpoint. I'm assuming, because it certainly looks that way on film, and that is Jorden Edmonds, 6'2.5", corner, number 5 corner in the country, 175 from that Atlanta area. You're talking about a guy who looks the part and who plays all kinds of positions. You see him returning kicks. You see him playing corner here. You see him playing wide receiver. You see him on the hardwood throwing down dunks in transition. Here he is as a tackler, able to get it done. Just somebody who Think about the Atlanta area for cornerbacks. It has been an absolute factory. Teams like Clemson, have done work there with the AJ Terrells of the world. But Atlanta in general, from a defensive back standpoint, that should, the safety position, look at Kyle Hamilton, right? It's just an area that's producing a lot of really, really good pros. And if you're Alabama, you're built your brand on having big, talented cornerbacks. This is somebody who fits the bill to a T.
And then a few other guys from Georgia who will be there. Lasiah Jackson from Leesburg, Khamari Brooks from Bogart, Georgia, Bear McWhorter from White, Georgia, Chris Booker from Atlanta. And then, of course, Florida. There's going to always be some Florida in the mix when you talk about Alabama. They've done very well in the state over the years. We both want to talk about someone in Grant Wise here who we think is very undervalued as a 3-star. We know that Miami is on him hot. His dad played at Miami. Oregon just sent a whole bunch of their coaches out to go see him. So this is a 3-star who we see right now is wanted at Miami, one of the best O-line schools in the country right now. At Oregon, another, every year a program that puts out big-time offensive linemen. And Alabama, we all know what Alabama does with offensive linemen too. So a 3-star who's garnering big-time interest from those 3 schools. I don't know that the rating matches the interest there.
Yeah, this is somebody Alabama fans obviously used to seeing those 5 stars. This might catch people's attention as 3-star. Ignore it. I've been watching this guy since he was a young player. Obviously, his dad went to Miami, University of Miami. He's from Florida, a weightlifting beast, but on the field, even better. I'm just scrolling through his Twitter. You see FSU's coaches in the house. You see LSU's coaches in the house. You see Oregon coaches in the house. Dan Lanning's out there. I mean, you name it. See Dabo Swinney. Every big coach in America, Penn State, is in the house with Grant Wise. Coach DeBoer and Coach Morgan visited him on January 28th in his hometown. You see him playing tackle there, but this is a center all the way with outstanding weight room credentials, great leverage, great technique, and nasty as it gets. I
love these practice clips, man. We need more of this right here on Huddle.
Yeah. And look, the truth is his game clips are even nastier. I mean, pancake after pancake. If you're a fan of Alabama and want to check this guy out, I mean, his game film is as good as it gets. He's had every great coach in the country, including Alabama's brain trust in the house. This is somebody who Miami is going to fight tooth and nail to get, but I think Alabama's got a lot of momentum with this player. He's visited multiple times, and he'd be a huge addition to their room.
Yeah, you see him there with some of the Oregon coaches. So again, it seems like a guy who once, the springtime here, a lot of these rankings are updated. They go through the camp circuit. A lot of the senior film across the country is reviewed, or not senior film, junior film for this class, and rankings are updated. I fully expect him to be someone who takes a big leap.
Yep, he should. But the bottom line is, this is a priority player for a lot of programs. Alabama's one of them. And I think of all the out-of-state schools, Alabama might have the most juice with this player.
And then one last player to highlight here, Tristan Keys at wide receiver, who will be on campus.
Highly rated guy, very familiar with Alabama's quarterback commit, because he was there with Russell at the Under Armour game, playing as an underclassman, number 1 receiver in the country, depending who you ask. 6'2", 175 from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, basketball player, gangly, athletic frame, not the skinniest guy in the world. He's wiry, he's sturdy, he's got big hands, he can pluck the ball. What I like about him, he can go up and get the football, and when he lands with balance. He's not just, going all out to catch the ball. He's catching it and landing with work to do. Fluid, still a lot of moving parts in the way he moves, but I think he's going to keep getting better and more athletic. State finalist in the 110-meter hurdles, the triple jump, the high jump. Track athlete, just off the charts. Good after the catch. I wouldn't say he's elite after the catch, but he competes after the catch. And somebody who, we just talked about some strong receivers that Alabama's brought on campus. This guy's right in the mix with all of them. not that far away. Obviously, the Mississippi schools are going to battle like crazy. Every team in the South is going to battle like crazy. Every team in the country is going to battle like crazy for this guy. But if you're Alabama,
the physical traits, yeah, they're popping on the tape here.
And I say he's not the best after the catch. I mean, that was pretty good right there.
Yeah.
So it's not like he can't get it done after the catch. He can do it all. He's a 5-star
twitchy.
receiver.
He's twitchy though. You can see that twitch without a doubt. Looks like some of these, you mentioned those Mississippi schools. Looks like some of those Ole Miss receivers that have come through there recently.
Yeah, I mean, look, right now the Deep South is where it's at for wide receivers. There you're seeing some more of that burst.
I don't know. You want to take that statement back?
He's so good with the ball in the air that you forget what he does after the catch. But I mean, I think this guy's just scratching the surface. I think he's ready to play right away, but I think he's still. Look at there. You see right there. You see how he lands and is able to.
I've seen enough. I need to turn that off, man. I'm getting too excited over here.
Yeah. Again, yeah. I say, talk about after the catch. When we saw Ryan Williams last year, so we're kind of spoiled when it comes to these 5-star receivers after the catch, the Corey and Moore. But yeah, I mean, listen, he's a 5-star receiver for a reason, and I'll take that comment back. He's good at everything, and the track background speaks for itself.
Guys, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We have almost 20 live viewers here. Appreciate everyone who's on with us. Remember to get in the comment section. Let us know what else you guys want to see here on the page, on our